Hello YouTube, CivilianSnowman here. Today I'm reviewing Terminator Salvation, a film that I've been looking forward to for a long time because as anybody who knows me knows, I'm a huge fan of the Terminator franchise. I've reviewed the other three on my channel and I've been really looking forward to reviewing this one. The film is directed by Mick G from Charlie's Angels fame. He did Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. He also did a sentimental film called We Are Marshall. And he's essentially successfully resurrected the Terminator franchise with this movie. The plot follows two main characters. The first one is John Connor, played by Christian Bale, who is the one of the many leaders of the human resistance against the machines. Who is essentially trying to hatch a plan of destroying Skynet Central. Skynet's the computer program that controls all the machines. The other main character is Marcus Wright, who's never been mentioned in the series before. He's obviously been created for this film, and he's played by Sam Worthington, a newcomer, an Australian actor. Supporting parts come from Anton Yelchin, who we all saw in Star Trek as Kyle Reese, the character that Michael Biehn played in the 1984 original, who does an absolutely great job. He's my favourite character in the film by far. I think Anton Yelchin does so well in inhabiting the character that Michael Biehn did. They are practically the same person. You can really see that he's going to grow up to become the adult Kyle Reese that we all know and love. Another supporting character is Blair Williams, played by Moon Bloodgood, who now in this theatrical cut of the film seems a bit useless. She's barely in it, and some of the decisions that she makes in the second act of the movie you really question, but I know for a fact that a lot of her scenes, a lot of her character scenes have been cut out to save time and to get a PG-13 rating. So hopefully once the director's cut Blu-ray comes out, she'll get a bit more screen time and she can justify her actions in the film. I really enjoyed this movie, not least because of the action. Now, the action scenes are really quite inventive in that they are really long takes with no cuts. Well, I mean, being a film fan and knowing how it's made, if you know what to look for, you can see where they've digitally cut the movie and like with people running across the screen and whatnot. But to average Joe moviegoer, it's going to look like one continuous take, and especially in a scene that involves a helicopter crash, this really shows off that McG, the director, has some style, and he does have action movie sensibilities. My favourite part of this film is Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese. As I mentioned earlier, he really inhabits the same character that Michael Biehn did in the 1984 original. And to be honest, I think the film should have been built around him. Now, I think he's the most compelling character, and throughout the film, in a few scenes, he goes from being a kind of a scared teenager who doesn't really know what he's doing to leading grown men in desperate times, and you really feel the arc. It's a very well-rounded character, and I think the film should have focused on him. It should have been his journey, and we should have had less of John Connor, because to be honest, Christian Bale has disappointed me as John Connor in this. Now, a lot of people have a problem with the fact he's using the Batman voice again. That doesn't bother me, but what bothers me about his performance is it feels completely two-dimensional. Now, he doesn't bring anything new to the table. This is the fella that played Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. He's full to the brim of charisma, but you just don't get any of it in this movie. He's trying to be too gruff. The film is full of nods and winks to the first three films. I mean, from the third film you have the very early models of Terminators that we saw towards the end of Terminator 3. We have John Connor using a stereo system to lure a Terminator motorbike to him, and he uses Guns N' Roses' You Could Be Mine, which obviously was playing throughout Terminator 2 and was essentially the theme tune of Terminator 2. We see Kyle Reese learn how to tie a shotgun round his arm, which he obviously does at the beginning of Terminator 1. Now, I really like that. Marcus Wright shows him how to rig the gun up so that no one can snatch him off him, and I think that's really good, really quite a clever wink. Some of the winks aren't so subtle, but a lot of them are, and they don't detract from the film whatsoever, in my opinion. Having said all that, there is a lot wrong with this movie in terms of plot and character development and stuff like this. Like, for example, there is far too much, well, I wouldn't say too much action, but just not enough character. I mean, Terminator 2 is over 2.5 hours long, and it balances the action with character perfectly. While this film fails on many levels, such as character development, some story and plot points, and even the score by Danny Elfman, a lot of people are blaming McG and said, oh, the guy from Charlie's Angels was going to fuck it up from the beginning and stuff like that, but it's not his fault. I mean, every decision that he has made has been really good and pleased the fans, casting Christian Bale and Sam Worthington and like Bryce Dallas Howard as well. One problem this film does have is that it doesn't know how to start. It has about 5 different openings, and spoiler alert, but I'm just going to quickly go through them. It starts with white text titles. In the background you can see big 3D titles that it's obviously going to come together and make the words Terminator Salvation. But what it does is it shows the word Terminator Salvation in white text, and then you go through all the titles, and then it shows it in this 3D text, and it just felt a bit mishmash. It should have just done it in the 3D text. I know that is a minor niggle, but it builds up against the other openers. And then it shows us Marcus Wright, who is on death row, and he's approached by Helena Bonham Carter, who is dying of cancer, to donate his body to Cyberdyne Systems. Yes, that's the same Cyberdyne Systems that Sarah Connor attacked in Terminator 2. Something I really like. But after he agrees to it, we cut to black, and we get about 3 screens worth of text, talking about John Connor being the prophesized leader of humanity. Then we cut to John Connor landing in a helicopter, and it throws us into the first action scene. Now, these openers feel really disjointed when you see them like that in the film, and what I would have done differently is have no white text, just the 3D title, Terminator Salvation, go into the prison cell and show Marcus Wright, and then have Linda Hamilton, who recorded voiceover for the film anyway, have her read out that text in a narration over the footage of John Connor landing in his helicopter. I don't understand why in this movie people in the Resistance listen to John Connor. Now, the only person who knows that he is the prophesized leader of mankind is himself. So this would lead you to believe that he's been going around and telling everyone. And the fact that people have listened to him and obey his orders is a bit peculiar to me. A big flaw of the film, to me, is the fact that a lot of the violence has been cut out due to the PG-13 rating. Now, I don't usually complain, but apparently there was a sex scene between Blair Williams and Marcus Wright that was cut out, and having that back in the film would explain why she does what she does for Marcus. And again, there was a nude scene that some fellas come up to her in the film and say, we've been watching you, and they try to rape her. But watching what? Because they cut out a scene where she's undressed in the rain. So it's stuff like this that they've cut out to achieve the rating that really proves detrimental to the film itself, because these missing scenes do actually serve a purpose and they move the story along. So to see them cut out is really disappointing, and that's why I hope there's a director's cut Blu-ray. I could ramble about this film for a long time, but I won't, because I need to keep this review short, under 10 minutes. So what I will say is this: it's a really good film, a good action movie, and it is a good Terminator movie. Like I said, Terminator 3 left a sour taste in our mouths. Terminator 4 is several steps in the right direction, and I really look forward to the rest of this new trilogy. Because this review's been quite, well, not necessarily short, but I haven't been able to say everything I want to say, I might do a written review for my MySpace. So if you have MySpace, please add me, myspace.com/CivilianSnowman. Add me and subscribe to my blog, because I think I'll do a massive written review of Terminator Salvation and analyse everything it was about the plot that troubled me. So please check that out. I'm going to give Terminator Salvation 4 stars. I think it's a very solid action movie. I gave Terminator 3 3 stars. So yes, 4 stars for Terminator Salvation. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out, make up your own mind about it. The problems that I have with it are nothing that can't be solved with a director's cut, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that's what we'll get. So like I said, 4 stars for Terminator Salvation. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, subscribe to my MySpace to get the full written review of Terminator Salvation at some point. And thank you for listening. This is CivilianSnowman signing out. I'll see you later. Bye.